What's up, guys? My name is Gabe and welcome into the Trojan Blade. The first half of the year is in the books. Everything we have seen up to this point is out the door. This 6-game stretch is an entirely different season from what we just experienced. From this point on, it doesn't matter how it looks. If we win 80-79 or 3-2, just win. That's all that matters. So in today's video, we'll look forward to the rest of the year, what has to happen for SC to keep winning, and why I'm feeling very optimistic about USC's trip to South Bend. But before we get into it, please do leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And make sure you check out the Trojan Blade Patreon and store, both of which are linked in the description. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get into this. Alright, so the first 6 games of the year are through, and if I had to describe them in one word, I'd say underwhelming. I thought the defense would be playing much better than what they've shown, and I also thought the offensive line would be further along at this point. Having said that, right here, right now, I'm putting everything we've seen in a bag, I'm tying the bag up, and I'm throwing it in the trash. It's over, it's done with. In my view, we're starting a new 6-game season on Saturday. A part of me feels like we've been completely coasting through the first half of the year, offensively speaking anyways, and at this point the defense just is what it is. We just need them to get a couple stops a game. I've already come to terms that this is around the 100th best defense in the country, but we know that now. This is pretty much the exact same defense as last year, but we've swapped the turnovers for a consistent pass rush, which is an upgrade in my opinion. Pass rush travels, turnovers are too unpredictable. But from this point on in this quote-unquote new season, I'm expecting the explosive plays allowed. I'm expecting the missed tackles. That's more than likely not changing at this point in the year. So going forward, just do enough to win. Get an occasional stop, keep fighting. When you have 13 on the other side, that can be enough. Now offensively, guys, we have been incredibly bland and vanilla up to this point. We haven't really shown much of anything on that side of the ball. We've seen generic run game, very standard RPOs that happen again and again during the course of a game. Remember the UCLA game last year when we had Addison lined up in the backfield? Or the Stanford game from last year, that crazy screen counter to the right side to Addison where the lineman pulled out to get in front of him? We haven't seen anything like that. It's been so bland, which for me feels like we're going to see some fireworks in South Bend this weekend, regardless of the weather. Rain shouldn't be that big of a deal. Now, if it gets windy mixed with the rain, then we may have some worries, but with Caleb being from DC, Marshawn Lloyd being from Delaware, Brendan Rice playing in Colorado, I think we're going to be okay. Now, going forward, what do I want to see? On offense, I want to see Zachariah Branch be healthy. That's concern number 1, 2, and 3 for me. That guy changes games in a split second, arguably the most important player on offense outside of Caleb up to this point. Of course, you'd also like to see the offensive line get better and better. Want to see that communication tighten up a little bit. There's going to be mistakes. Obviously, we're not expecting perfection, but maybe just eliminate a few of the big ones per game, and then we'll be on the right track. Now, defensively, I want to see the right guys get out on the field. Here's the lineup I want to see the rest of the year. Now, this isn't factoring in injuries because we have no idea who's available and who's not, but I want to see a front 4 of Bird, Bear, Bars, and Muhammad, Cobb and Gentry as the 2 backers, and the 2 corners being Covington and CRW, the 2 safeties being Bullock and Zion, and the nickel being Jalen Smith. Now, there is an argument here for swapping Mason Cobb out for Shane Lee, but I'm personally not there yet. We do need to see more Colorado Mason Cobb going forward as opposed to Arizona State and Arizona Mason Cobb. So if he can get more consistent and try to bring the missed tackles down, I think he's safe to keep out there on the field. Along the defensive line, I would love to see more of Braylon Shelby. I've been very impressed by him. He stands out every time he's on the field. He's explosive as a pass rusher and has yet to miss a tackle on the year. But this defense does have some very interesting pieces that I would love to see more, and also a few that need to have their snaps significantly reduced, like Shaw, Stanley, and Tackett. I think there is more that can be pulled from this group of players, and I think that starts with getting the right players out there on the field. And again, this all starts on Saturday. This game will set the tone for the rest of the year. We know how long it's been since we've won in South Bend. That's just a hard place to win in general. But this Notre Dame team you're playing is very flawed. They're a wounded animal that against Louisville last week, the body language was atrocious. The offensive players, especially quarterback Sam Hartman, look completely dejected, just like they don't have any belief in what they're running at all. I mean, guys, go back and watch the 4th quarter of that game. Those players completely lost the will to fight, which is just fascinating heading into this game with USC, because coming off a game against Arizona that was our first real test, I think that's going to be a big wake-up call to everybody, and I think we're going to be ready to play in this one. So if Notre Dame isn't ready to match our physicality, I think this is a game where we could see USC get up 17, 21-0. So I think this is a very winnable game, and guys, in terms of USC season, it's a must-win game. If we come out, look good, and make a statement, that will set the tone for the rest of the season, and I think this team will be in a fantastic headspace for when we face Utah at home next week. Alright guys, so kind of an unorthodox video today, just kind of a conversation. I had some things on my mind and I kind of just wanted to sit down and talk with you guys. And as always, I would love to hear from you. What do you expect going forward? What do you want to see going forward? Give me your defensive lineup. Anything you have about this team, please let me know. I love to see where your guys' heads are at with things like this, especially with this team that's been so confusing to watch. So please let me know anything and everything you guys are thinking down below. If you did happen to enjoy this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you guys do want to help support the channel in an even bigger way, you can do so over on my Patreon for only $1 a month. The Arizona film study video will be out tomorrow exclusively on Patreon, so head over there and check that out. And guys, thank you so much for being here today. You're all awesome, and as always, take care and fight on.